Welcome to podcast 133. Do you want some more key insights into how you can care for your body? If so, stay with us. Introduce yourselves for us really quickly, please.
Okay, I'm Amanda Hill. I am the COO of BioHealth Management. I also run BioHealth Fit, which is more of our employee-based program for mobility and joint-related fitness and nutrition programs. And I've been working as an injury prevention specialist for about 12 years now.
And I'm Dr. Steve Grennan. I have my field is in orthopedic and chiropractic joint relationships. I'm the owner and founder of BioHealth Management. We've been doing that for about 26 years now. And I have been all over the country with all different types of industries, learning about all different types of joints and tasks and what we need to do to take care of the industrial people out there that give so much of their life to their careers. We're spending time finding solutions for them.
I love that. So today's podcast is specifically for Formworks, and Formworks is an online platform and a service and really a group of fantastic people that are interested, and their mission is to connect workers together and also with work and job opportunities, and to also support the careers of workers and to provide training and development, and really this online platform, this social network where we can really care for workers. And so Formworks asked if I would specifically help bring in industry experts that would benefit workers, and I couldn't think of anybody better than BioHealth Management and these wonderful folks. So that's what we're doing today. So to kick us off, I always like to start out with just a little bit of positivity. I'm going to ask you to answer it however you want. You can say it in a word, paragraph, sentence. We can take the next 15 minutes, but what are you excited about right now in life?
I'm excited about bringing resources that are practical and applicable to the labor industry that you can do on a job site. They're easy to do, easy to apply, like mobility stretches, and do a strong education on it and make it real world scenarios so they don't feel like, oh, this is just another stretching program. Oh, I can't do that on the job site. These are really easy to apply, and people are appreciating them and enjoy them and feeling better. That's always exciting.
That's awesome. What about you, Dr. Grennan?
To mirror that, I would tell you that excitement for me brings the opportunity to give more education to people who are now recognizing, and quite frankly, because I have aged through this service level of what I've done as far as being a doctor for 25 years, I'm now taking care of a lot of younger people who have a different perspective on how they take care of themselves. Today, there is more of an interest for individuals to say, you know, I don't want to end up like my father. He's got arthritis in his shoulders, his back, his neck. I want to be able to avoid that. So my job today is even more easier than it's ever been, because you got people who have the symptoms, have the signs, have the range of motion problems, flexibility, but they're looking for resources to take care of that. And then when we give them certain solutions and programs to apply, they do it. Where as the older group, they didn't. We don't want to get them to just feel better. We want them to get, much like nutrition, you got to learn what to eat properly in order to maintain a certain healthy weight. You need to do certain things to prepare your body for the types of tasks that you're doing in your industry, and prepare in order for your body to embrace those vibrations and the pulls and the joints that happen all day long. And when people do that, and we follow up on these people that we have, and we have thousands of employees that we take care of, when we go to check up on them, they say, I feel better. I feel better for what you told me to do, and I can't thank you enough. I got wives that call me to say, my husband feels better. I got daughters and sons that call me, because they see the types of wear and tear that they have on their own father or mother in the construction industry. So when you can deliver that type of solution, it's tremendous.
I love that. So you've really kicked it off with some good high energy. So that's one of the topics that I usually like to open with. Another one is talking about the listeners and the feedback. I got a bit of feedback the other day, team, Amanda and Dr. Steve, and it said, or the person that reached out to me said, my crews and I typically spend about 30 minutes prior to the start of the shift listening to one of your podcasts. Your passion and deep knowledge of our industry is apparent and infectious. Looking forward to your new book and continued great content. And the reason I bring that up is because I want people to know that their comments are being heard, and I want to thank them for that feedback. And I also want to say that this is for you. When we do these podcasts, this is for you. The person that wrote that said, my crews and I typically spend the morning listening to these podcasts are for you. And it's because of you, and we hope to inspire you and bless your life. And I know that that's also the mission of Amanda and Dr. Steve. And so I just love that we're having this conversation. So our sponsor today is Formworks, and I've already given a little introduction for them, and I really hope that they continue to do well in reaching out with their mission to connect and bless the lives of workers. So I've started a new format, Dr. Steve, where I give a little bit of conflict. Meaning, in the beginning, instead of just starting out with all this fluffiness, let's actually frame the situation. And I would say, you, not you, but you, whoever's listening, you're not caring for your body like you can. And that's the conflict in our lives. We have the opportunity, like Amanda was saying, and Dr. Steve, and your passionate little snippet there, to really care for ourselves. And so let's introduce the topic today of how do we care for our bodies, specifically our lower back. And so I really want to do that, and I'm going to hope to get a really nice story out of you throughout. So can you kick this off for us?
Sure. The things that I've seen over the years, as far as within the construction trade, is that a lot of the employees, men and women, they feel that their tasks that they do over a period of time can create those cumulative trauma problems, repetitive type problems. And it's almost like periodically I think about the tires on a car. You can only go a certain amount of miles on a car before you either have to get retreads or a new tire. But with a body, you have to take a different perspective. With the lower back, there are the hinge area of the lower back, and most people will know what I'm talking about, is the area of critical performance. So when we talk about tasks, people think about just what they're doing during the course of their day. They're from 8 to 5 or 9 to 3 when they're at the construction site. I'm saying you've got individuals who drive 45 minutes to work every day, not recognizing that sitting is trauma to the lower back. That's why there's more back problems within executives and office workers throughout the country than there are in just fields, because that compression in the lower back, because you drive a certain period of time, causes that disc and low back compression that gives off symptoms.
Wow.
Now you take a construction worker who now gets to a site, has been driving for 45 minutes, and he has to lean into his trunk of his car and take 25 or 30 pounds of tools. All right. So once again, you have that spine. Okay. Here's your lower back right in here. Okay.
Hey, real quick, Dr. Steve, I want to say, anybody listening to the podcast, if you sign on to our website or our LinkedIn or our Facebook feed, you'll be able to see Dr. Grennan, Dr. Steve, actually show a picture of the spine. So really good visual. So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. I want to let people know that.
So the idea is the fact that if we can maintain the integrity of this lower back area with all the muscles, and I won't get too involved in the muscle groups. They don't care about that. These guys look for solutions. They already have the type of discomforts. So when they're bending over just into their trunk to get their 30 pounds of weight, after sitting, remember, the body has to have 3 curves, okay? We've got a curve in the neck area, curve in the mid-back area, the thoracic area, and you've got to have that curve in the lower back. The thing that gives off symptoms, and we'll show and talk about what creates the structural area to lose its its strength area is because the curve in the lower back, and you can see that curve there, that curve over a period of time becomes straight.
Ooh.
And when you have straightening of the lower back, you will have symptoms.
I don't know if you're getting the same thing, anybody who's listening to this, but I'm watching this and I'm cringing right now because I now see, I never saw before. Can you hold that up for me one more time? When you move the pelvis, I see that thing's stretching out. I didn't
Yeah.
even, I don't even want to sit down right now looking at that thing.
Well, actually, you have a comment about what.
So the studies are showing that sitting is just as bad for the body as smoking is. Because you have to think of it, most of the time when we're sitting, we're bad postures, we're slouching, especially in the car, we're really just we're just kind of cruising along. So now we're in a really bad posture. We're stationary, we're stagnant, so our body's not moving. Body in motion stays in motion. What that means is that our body's lubrication is going. So your whole body gets thrown off. So your curvature of your spine, you have all that pressure. And let's be honest, some of us have gained that COVID-15. That's pressure on the spine while you're sitting. All of that plays a role in why sitting is so bad for your health.
All right. And that's exactly the message we need to get out there, because when you sit, all right, that curve, but the discs in between each bone, they're designed to stay in the front, the belly of the front of yourself. All right. Here's your butt right down here. Here's your pelvic iliums right here. All right. And when we sit, we have, say you're 240 pounds, 220 pounds. You have close to 180 pounds pushing down gravity of your torso into this area.
Oh, man.
Okay. When we sit for long periods of time, and you'll find yourself even moving as you sit and do this interview today, you'll find yourself moving around because your body can indicate when there's stress levels getting to a point where it has to move to create more lubrication in a joint.
Okay.
And with individuals, the discs are designed to be in the front of the spine.
Yeah, when you're talking about lubrication, I've heard, and I wanted to verify with you because I know you're the expert, but I've heard that hydration with our workers is critical when we're talking about lubrication and having healthy joints. Can you confirm or deny that for me? Because the other reason I'm curious about it is because you tell workers, stay away from the caffeinated sodas and focus on drinking water. Can you talk about that for a second?
100%. So we need water to filtrate the toxins out of our bodies. When our body's going, similar to if somebody does a heavy workout, they feel that what's called lactic acid, the fatigue in their muscle fibers. Without having the water to help remove it, it just stays right in that muscle fiber. It becomes caked into that muscle fiber. Water hydrates us. It keeps our organs functioning properly, helps with our synovial fluid in our joints. I know exactly when someone has not drank enough water. When they see us, their body's responses to what we read, I know immediately if they're not responding a certain way or their body responds a certain way, they are dehydrated.
Okay.
So it's so important, so important.
All right. So getting back to the spine itself, we've got to get people to recognize, like what an engine needs to function properly, everything has to be working. For a lower back to be functioning properly, you have to have the proper curves in the lower back, because when it becomes straight, these discs that are protruding in the front where they're supposed to be, when the spine becomes straight, these discs now start to protrude backwards into where the nerve roots are. Once it hits the nerve roots, guess what you get? A symptom. So here's your pelvic. When people have lower back problems, you have a lot of people that say, oh, well, I go home and I'll sit down and rest. When you have a back problem and your spine has already lost its curvature in the lower back and you go home and sit, guess what's happening? This part here is shooting pressure up as weight is coming down. That's why people say, well, my lower back hurts, but when I sit down, it feels a little better. But then when I go to get up, I can barely move. It's because sitting causes more problems when you have a lower back condition.
Wow.
So we have to just get the understanding and get people to recognize what are the elements and characteristics that maintain a healthy lower back. One of the things are hamstrings. Hamstrings are attached to down here, okay? All right, they're attached right down to here.
Okay.
And guess what? If your hamstrings are tight, if you do nothing to increase the length of them and get them flexible and get them prepared for a day, guess what they do to this curve, okay? Here's your side view, here's your back view. That day, that hamstring, which is tight all day long, does this.
It jerks it left and right.
It jerks it back, back,
Okay.
back, 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 because the hamstrings pulling on the pelvic and not extending the way they're supposed to.
Okay.
So the more people we take care of today, the first thing I go to is their hamstrings to find out what type of hamstring condition they're at, because they don't recognize it. But when you can start teaching that my hamstrings are a critical element of tendons in the body that need to be prepared for the day, so it takes pressure off my lower back, that message starts getting raised. Because when we give hamstring testings on sites, guys all the time are going, oh, my hamstrings are tight, I can't move it. If your hamstrings are tight, that means your lower back is vulnerable to having problems.
Okay, so that's an early sign. So that means, so sitting, we know that that's a no. Well, we have to sit sometimes, but that has consequences, right? But the other thing is, you're saying if our hamstrings, the back of our leg, is tight, then there might be some consequences to our lower back, which will produce symptoms. What are some of those symptoms? What are some of those symptoms to help us out a little bit?
It just discomfort in the back. Most people will feel it on one side or the other. It'll start to give more of a sciatic symptom. Doesn't mean you have a sciatic problem, just means that you might have a sciatic symptom because your hamstrings are tight. To go along with that hydration, if your hamstrings are dehydrated, they're going to be dry.
Okay.
They won't be able to expand properly as well. They might feel it in their hips as well, or in their butt muscles. Sometimes they'll feel it directly pulling where the hamstring actually starts as well. A lot of times we feel it when you're bending and twisting. You go to bend and twist. Well, if you don't have that hamstring flexibility to move nice and smoothly, it's going to pull on your low back. And so that's one that we find that one quite common.
And there's a couple of different symptoms. One is acute pain or acute discomfort. Acute discomfort is going to be when the neurological aspect of the lower back, these nerves right here that are coming out, these nerves get impinged and give a very acute sense of something's wrong, and the body is going to let you know, because the electrical response that run other different areas, the body is going to try to protect, which is why when you have a bad disc problem, it will drop you. You can also have strain and sprain of the lower back region, which is muscular. So if you have a particular task, guys who are lifting drywall, sheetrock, or just lumber during the course of the day, that movement of putting yourself in a ergonomically bad position when they carry sheetrock and some other things can cause the muscles to extend further than what they are capable of doing. That will give you low back concern, which is low back discomfort, but not the acute types of pain that you can get when the nerve starts to kick in.
Okay. And so if somebody is feeling these signs and symptoms, they're feeling, oh, I've just listened to this podcast, I've just watched this video, my hamstrings are tight. What do we do? What advice do we give to people listening?
Well, when I get people, all the people I have, and I've got to make mention to this, and you can help me because I can't remember all of them. I don't want to exclude the drivers out there that are in loaders and bulldozers and scrapers and those guys who are in a machine that is rocking their body all day. I mean, we like to tend to talk about the construction guys who are on site walking all day, but there's a bunch of guys out there who are in machinery that are wondering, what about me? And we can get to them later, but we're not forgetting about them, but they too have tremendous low back concerns, and we need to get to them as well.
Okay.
But the individual that comes to me, basically we'll do a range of motion flexibility testing, and we'll do some orthopedic testing to find out the region of the area. After determining that, though, we can find out whether we can give them some exercises, some stretching, some strengthening maneuvers, but a lot of them we have to really dictate in that don't go home and sit down. Don't think that a lazy boy with your legs kicked out is going to be a therapy for you. It's not.
So, Dr. Steve, could we do something like this? So let's summarize this. So we advise against sitting for long periods of time unless it's necessary, right? We encourage warming up. We encourage stretches. We encourage being well hydrated. If they reach out to us either by email or Facebook or LinkedIn, would we be able to give a single sheet list of stretches for a certain period of time that they could use in the morning to prevent back injuries or something like that?
You're reading my mind. I actually just wrote down to create a special page on our website too, where I can create a six to seven stretches just for the low back and
okay.
Because there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just the low back. Everyone thinks just, oh, I need to fix my low back. There's a lot that goes into the low back. You're looking at core, your hip health, your butt strength. Strong butts help low backs, your hamstring health, your calf health. All of that stems up and will cause symptoms in your low back. But the sources that create that low back discomfort are everything that are below it.
Okay. Well, then I think what we should do is, first of all, I do want to say, these podcasts aren't marketing podcasts, but they are service-oriented podcasts. Biohealth Management, Amanda and Steve will come on location for your company or your project site and do an evaluation. It usually takes 1 or 2 days for the first one. And, I do have to shout this out. I hope I'm not cheapening it, but Dr. Steve will usually get you on a professional medical table and use an industrial massager on your back leg. When I got up off of that thing, I swear to you, I was going to float off into space. When I left the room, I was like tripping around because it felt like he had taken 2 lead weights off the back of me. And so that's what got me thinking about the tension in the muscle, the lactic acid, the lack of stretching, dehydration, everything affecting my body. And it's a big deal. I just say that because it's a moment. The other thing is you can reach out to them on their website, and if you reach out to us, we can get this single page sheet for stretches and preventative care. So I do want to say that if you're like, well, here's the information, how do I get in touch? Those are some ways to get in touch. But if they don't get in touch with us, Dr. Steve, and they need to seek medical care, when is that point? What is the point where they need to say, hey, time out, I need to go see a professional stateside until I can get to Dr. Steve?
I can tell you this, and most individuals try to ride it out, I've heard, or they want to fight through it. They don't recognize that at times that their body, which like idiot lights on a car, are trying to tell you, stop. You need water, you need gas, you need fuel, you need something. And when our body gives us signs of you get up in the morning and you're hunched over, that's a sign that the disc is swollen. Now, can you walk to a particular area at times and loosen things up? People always say, when I get up in the morning, I feel like crap. But once I get moving, I feel a little bit better. Those are initial signs that your body is starting to lose structural integrity in particular regions.
Okay.
So, when you mentioned that we talk to so many people, I have done 500, maybe 1,000 talks over the years. And what I've learned is when I stand in front of people want to know, while they're sitting in construction or the bottling industry or the airline industry, whatever it is, they want to know, what does this guy have for me? If this guy can talk about during the period of time, if he talks about what my concern is, I'm listening. But that's why we are getting so specific today. We're not talking about, for example, as a coach, I'm not talking about basketball. I'm talking about who needs help on the foul shot, who needs help on the jump shot, who needs on the hook. People are saying, I got a shoulder problem. Is this guy going to talk about the shoulder? Is he going to talk about the back, my back issue? Is he going to talk this pain I got going down my legs and what it means? So having a resource, and we're still putting it all together, for them to say, or call up or email. I got this particular symptom down my leg. You talked about it. What do I need to do? Or I'm getting numbness going down to my fingers. Do I have a hand problem? Fingers don't have the hand problem when you have numbness. Normally comes from the neck and generates down the arm. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've taken care of patients with the shoulder area that take care of the symptoms in the fingers. So we're getting more and more specific, and we're hoping to, with you, create a novel of different areas that people can learn how to take care of themselves and enhance themselves by learning what to do to take care of themselves.
I love it. And so if the pain's unmanageable and they can't wait, they should go see a doctor immediately. But if they keep tuning in every other week or every week, how often you guys are going to come on the show and find out the specific treatment, or this, not treatment, but preventative care for each area, continue to listen to the podcast is what I heard. So
absolutely. Listen, much like a weight program or a diet program, if you keep applying the things that work to help you lose weight, you'll continue to do them. If you find out the types of exercises and stretches that apply to your condition, whether it's your low back, your shoulder, your wrist, your elbow, and you start applying them before you go to work during the course of your day, you help to make that region stronger for you.
Okay. Well, let's do this. You have an exciting, I'm going to call it a gift that you want to announce. But real quick, Amanda, can you talk about if they want to come look at your specific page with that preventative care, can you give them the website and any information you want them to know to get in touch with you? Obviously, we've talked about emailing me at jason@elevateconstructionisd.com or checking us out on Facebook or LinkedIn, and you can go to the elevateconstructionisd.com website and reach out to us. So there's that, but give them your contact information and tell them the website where this will be posted soon, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So our contact information, I'm Amanda at reducedinjuries.com, Dr. Grennan at reducedinjuries.com. And then I'll put this on our main company website, which is reducedinjuries.com/elevate. So we'll do the stretching. I'll put together a stretching program as well for them. So they'll have something on that and they can download it.
Fantastic. And Dr. Steve, you've got a fun little treat for everybody listening today. Can you announce that?
One of the things that I find in the construction industry is that guys are paying $200, $250, $300 for construction boots, so whether it be Wolverine, Red Wings, or whatever they are. And they're good boots. However, many times the insoles on these boots, quite frankly, are not at the level of the rest of the condition of the boot. And many times these guys wear out their insoles. We've got insoles that we hand out to guys, and we give out thousands of these, because when you might have a pair of boots that are ready to be thrown into the garbage can. But guess what? You take a pair of new insoles and you put them in there, guess what? Your foot doesn't know what kind of a boot it's in. And now it just understands it has a comfort level back to where it's supposed to have. And when these guys are walking around all day long, you need insoles that are properly conformed so that they embraces the types of vibration and walking and weight that you have all day long during a site.
Can you show a picture, like give us a front shot and a side shot? And I'm going to do some very nice. Those, so what, go ahead, sorry.
So the biggest thing about insoles, what we see is you have people who are spending hundreds of dollars on insoles.
Yep.
Not needed.
But not only that, they're spending $300 for shoes, and it's coming with like a 10-cent insole in it, which is no good at all. You have doctors who are giving you arch supports. They're spending thousands of dollars for specially made supports for their feet. But with these, you can go to a store. They're pretty inexpensive. Ours are $15 that we normally sell. I think Doc was going to be giving a promotion for these as well.
If any of your other guests that are smart enough to listen to what we're bringing them week after week, you tell me who they are, we'll send them to them free.
So why don't we do this? Because Jason has quite a bit of followers now, correct?
Yeah, we have quite a bit, but
Okay.
so let's have them put their money where their mouth is. They need to email me directly, and actually get on and take action and take massive action to forward their life. And what if we do that? If they email me directly, then I'll get it. Then you'll send them that pair. How about that?
I will do that.
We can do
Okay.
We'll
that.
do that.
We can do that
Yep.
until we run out.
Okay.
Well,
So we can say like we're a certain amount of people. If we run out, we run out. But we can give up to, I would say, what, about 50, 75?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Was that okay?
But you know what? This gets people to recognize, hey, there's solutions out there.
Yes.
Maybe I don't have to take off work. Maybe there's something
Yeah.
out there that will address my types of symptom in my foot or plantar fasciitis. There's a lot of different things out there that, you don't have to go to. I don't want to get down on the podiatrist, but, there are things that you can utilize to make your feet feel better. And
That's
we have found
fantastic.
it. So
So let's say
Well-
the first 75 people to email Jason, and he sends us their information, or even download that stretching program, we will send you a free pair.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we're gonna have to cut this short. I could talk to you all night, but we're gonna commit, right, Dr. Steve? We're gonna do this, and Amanda, we're gonna do this at least every month, maybe every 2 weeks, but we're gonna do it as often as we can. We're gonna cover different parts of the body, and we're really actually BioHealth Management, through their wonderful knowledge and all of these years of experience, going to help you with your body, your comfort, which this is why it's so important. It translates to your family. Are you grumpy when you come home? Can you play with the kids? Can you play catch? There are so many, and here's the sad thing, everybody. Most workers, and to your point, water truck drivers and truck drivers and people in the industries are forgotten. And it's not true, because we care and there are people that care, but they know on their side, they know nobody cares. You know what I mean? Or they don't see who cares. So they go home and I got to deal with it. I'm going to live in pain the rest of my life. And I think your message is they don't. There's a solution. And that makes that, I don't know. We watch all these movies all the time about doing these great things, and there's so many great things we can do in our own lives, in our own sphere of influence, and you're doing that, and I want to say thank you. So
it's a pleasure to have an outlet like this to do this. Actually, you're stealing my thunder, because I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had time because I've always been so busy. So I'm glad you stepped up and created such a voice that people will be able to embrace. And here's something else I bet happens. As we do these, instead of us creating the index of things that we're going to talk about week after week, maybe your audience will say, hey, how about we talk about this? Maybe
Yeah.
they'll give us ideas of what we need to be focused on that's even more specific than what we think. And we can create a show about that and find solutions for them in regards to what the audience concerns might be.
Well, then that's the challenge. So we'll close it out with that. If something hurts, if something's bothering you, write to us and we will cover it on a podcast and we will get it to you. And the Formworks folks, those great folks over there, will publish it through that website and push it out to you if you sign up for Formworks. I know they're really big in Texas, and that service, that company is just going to scale. So,
On we go.
thank you, guys.